episode of Easy Talk is sponsored by Spotlight Productions. When it comes to quality, Spotlight Productions strives to deliver excellence. Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to have you guys here. You just don't know, I'm trying not to jump out of my skin at this moment. Welcome to another episode of Easy Talk. Listen, this is real talk for true entrepreneurs only. True entrepreneurs only. That means that you have a plan to grow and you are a true business owner. And today we have information that you do not want to miss. So the first thing you need to do is subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe. And second, go ahead and like the show because I'm confident that you're going to love it. And at the end, I know you're going to share it. So let us not waste another moment. I want to introduce to you my one and only very special guest, Gilberto Herrera. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's an honor to be here.
Coming. Yes, so just so you all know, he is my first guest that is not a native Memphian. Not a native Memphian. That means that I am doing something right to grow my business. So if I were you, again, I would subscribe so that you can get more knowledge, so that you can learn more about your industry and how to differentiate yourself. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about you, but make sure it's something that we wouldn't know otherwise.
So, came to this country as an undocumented immigrant.
Okay.
Lived in this country most of my life as an undocumented immigrant until I was in my 20s. So that's what sparked the entrepreneurship journey, my entrepreneurial journey, so to speak. By the time I got to the point where I could work, I was so used to doing things my way. Mm-hmm. When I had to sit somewhere for hours on end, and they told me when I can pee and when I can take a lunch. And
clock in, clock out.
Yeah, I was like, this is not for me. So, now, I help entrepreneurs go from struggling CEOs to strategic CEOs. And I have an accelerator called the Profitable Pro Accelerator where we infuse that in businesses. And as a result, they get to automate their income, reclaim their time, and eliminate chaos in their business.
That's got to be something you want to do.
Absolutely.
So who's your target audience?
Anybody that's stuck between $5,000 to $10,000 a month and they want to scale past that to upwards of $100,000 a month, that's who I'm looking to work with. It's got to be someone who's invested in themselves before and they're just looking for a system that they can infuse into their business to get them to the next level. Now,
you said a magic word, systems.
Absolutely.
That sparks AI to me.
I mean, that's a part of it.
Tell us about it. Tell us, should we be running from it? Is it helpful to business owners? Are you the one that's going to guide us through that? Help us understand where we're going with AI from your opinion.
So I think eventually AI is going to, especially with the generation that's coming after us, I think it's going to be a part of their world consistently. Just like if you look at, Gen Z or millennials, social media is like a part of our DNA, right? Our parents, they were scared they probably just get on Facebook because they have grandkids or...
They didn't want to share their email address.
Exactly.
It's like, you can't have it.
But if you're not using AI right now, think about it like this. You're not competing against AI. You're competing against businesses that are already using it. And if you can say, system, the acronym stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. So if you could save yourself time, energy, and money, reduce your overhead and get things done faster and still get the result that you want, why wouldn't you take a chance at it?
It sounds unheard of because mentally we were almost brainwashed that we have to work hard.
Yeah.
That if you're not working hard, you're not going to be successful. But your system helps us to think about the mindset of, I need to free my time so I can do the things that I care about that are important to me.
Absolutely. And one of the things we measure when we onboard a client is the time to value, right? So how quick can we get them value? With AI, some of the things that we're able to do, we can get them value. It used to take us weeks to get some things done. Now we get it to them in the same day.
Wow.
So because people don't pay you necessarily for your time. They pay you for a result.
For results.
The quicker you can get them to that result, the more money they'll pay you.
And with your system, you can truly say, I can give you something that you can manage, which means you can measure it.
Absolutely. And nothing that I do is not measured. I got a rule in my business. If it doesn't pay, not today. So
it doesn't pay, not today. I like that.
And when it comes to a lot of traditional marketing means, it's hard to measure a lot of them, right? But everything that we do, if you spend $1, you can see how much you got back. More importantly, you have data to prove where you need to be pivoting, how you need to be moving, who you need to be going after, what areas you need to be focused on. So everything is data driven. And, you know, business is not an emotional sport. It's a data driven sport. So my opinion, your opinion doesn't matter.
It does. You have to know the data.
The data is the only thing that matters.
And there's so many entrepreneurs that I hope are watching this show that don't know their numbers. They don't even know how to begin to arrive at the data.
Yeah.
And here you sit saying, I can show you how you can do that, how you can literally read the numbers and see what story it's telling. But not only that, most importantly, you can see your gaps.
Absolutely. So a couple things, right? A lot of us don't, when we start a business, we don't think long term. You might get to the point one day where someone says, hey, I want to buy this business. And if you don't know your customer acquisition costs, you know, your customer lifetime value, your valuation, you know, your EBITDA, things like that, then they're not even going to entertain you because they're not even going to look at you as a real business owner. So a lot of us start the business where we are, but we don't build it to where it should be going. And, you know, that goes into how you name the business, how you build a brand, the customers you go after, how you service, you know, your customers, the products you sell, things of that nature. We don't even do research on what really works. So it's interesting because I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and you know, they want to start a nonprofit, and they were telling me everything that they wanted to offer. And when I started doing the data, looking up the trends and the data, I'm like, it's not enough. Nobody's looking for this. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you don't want to be the person with the arrows on your back because you're the pioneer. You want to model what already works and just put your own spin on it, and then you can start adding other things.
And to that point, I know my friend would mind, and I don't have to say her name, but you had a meeting with one of my friends that I actually helped her start her business. And when you showed her that Memphis is not even where her target audience is, our minds were blown away. And what was even more exciting was she wanted to move to Nashville anyway.
Yep. So that's confirmation. And you don't necessarily have to even move. You can just, you know, with digital right now, you can definitely drop a target there, and you would with the push of a button, you're in Nashville.
Yep. The things that we don't know really will hurt us as business owners.
Yeah, and what I showed her was a free tool that she can use. You know,
a free tool.
So a lot of us don't necessarily ask the right questions. You know, it's like going fishing, right? It starts with what type of fish you want to catch. Then you got to figure out where they are. And then you got to ask yourself, what do they want that'll what'll make them jump on my boat?
Yeah, what bait do I have to use?
Absolutely. Your customer is the same way. You have to put them in mind and understand them so well that they raise their hands and say, I've heard enough, take my money. So with what we do as far as marketing is concerned, right? By the time they come to you, your customers are already pre-sold. The question is not going to be, do I see value in you? In the back of their mind, they're looking like, all right, how much is it going to cost?
Right.
You know, I'm ready to take action.
And I think just from me being a shopper, I've noticed that even if I go onto a website and I'm looking at a pair of shoes, for example, if I don't buy those shoes, they are texting me, they're emailing me, oh, the shoes are on sale now. All of that comes from the data.
Absolutely. Well, you gave them your information.
Yes.
And, you know, they saw that you were looking at something. Not only are they going to text you, but you're probably going to go on social media and you'll see that's an ad, a retargeting ad.
How does that work? Gilberto, how does that work?
So when you go on the website, there's a pixel that they put on your device, and that pixel travels and follows you.
Wow. And see, people say, oh, they're listening. The government is listening. Like, people are really freaked out about that instead of saying, How can I utilize technology and this data to grow my business and push me forward?
Yeah.
That's the question we should be asking ourselves.
But a lot of people find it scary. They think it's extremely complicated.
But that's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are. It's like, I can't say the part I want to say because my mom said, blank or get off the pot.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, you know, and if you look at my content online, a lot of it is not even geared towards what I do. A lot of it is geared towards teaching people that the only thing that's stopping you is you.
Is you.
You know, you holding on to that money. Money is currency. It's supposed to flow. If you're not taking it and investing it in you to buy yourself time, you know, to do things fast, to, you know, acquire new skills, then what you holding on to it?
You're inefficient.
Yeah, if in the bank, it's actually losing money. You know, and with inflation, they're not paying you, what's the average savings account pay you?
Not even 3%.
Not even 1%. So you actually losing money by just letting it sit there. Money is currency. It's supposed to flow. You know, the only way it's going to continue to grow is if you put it to use and let it flow.
So how did you get started? What made you catch this big wave on the front end of it?
I wouldn't say that I caught the big wave. I've made a lot of the same mistakes most people have made. I actually started my career in sales.
Okay.
So because I speak 2 languages, I'm bilingual, I'm Hispanic. When I did, you know, dabble into corporate America, because I spoke Spanish, they always needed Hispanic bilingual sales reps. So I started out in banking, and then I pivoted from banking. And then if you ever went to Walmart or, you know, Costco, or you ever see those guys with the tables and they're selling you cable, or I did that for a long time, to the point where I moved up and I was training people on how to do that. So that's essentially just marketing. They give you a promotion, you have a system that you implement, you talk to 100 people a day. If you follow that process, you'll be successful. And then I went into retail sales, and then eventually I got an opportunity to work for the largest marketing company, the largest private marketing company in the nation. And they were selling digital marketing to some of the largest companies. But then I also started seeing the mom and pop shops. I'm like, why don't they have access to this information?
Wow.
So I started doing small consulting on the side for smaller businesses. I didn't know how to charge. I just knew I saw my brothers and sisters struggling, and I started helping them position themselves the right way, you know, teaching them the right way to market, because marketing is a process. It's not it's not, a lot of people mistake marketing with promotion, where you just put something out, say, I got something for sale, and buy it from me. When essentially marketing is the art of building a relationship to get people to the point where they want to, whether the purchase is their decision.
Yes. You
So,
have to get into their subconscious and tell a story.
And then I eventually wanted to leave the industry altogether, because I started reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and they were like, man, you know, all the rich people got real estate. So I thought I was going to be a real estate investor full time.
Which for a minute, that was looking pretty good.
Yeah, and then, but people were still calling my phone asking me about doing marketing and helping them, you know, grow their businesses and structure. And they were asking me to speak on stages and, you know, things like that. So, you know, I tried to kind of like refuse that calling for a while, but then eventually, you know, I couldn't deny it, and here we are. But I mean, it's constant investing in myself, you know, in the form of, I have mentors, I have coaches myself, because if you want to continue to grow, you got to put yourself in a room with people who are doing what you're doing.
Yes, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, which means you have to continuously be a learner.
Yeah.
You have to study your craft.
I mean, I thought I was doing something years ago until I seen someone in a room, and you know, they're bringing in $100,000 a month, and then but I didn't know that it was possible if I wasn't in that room. You know, I didn't think that I could sell my services for the amount that I sell them for until I saw someone else do it. And then that made me say, how can I position myself the same way? So you got to get to the point where you're investing to be in the right rooms, to be in the right places, to be in the right communities, because you got to stretch yourself. No different than going to the gym, right?
Yep.
if you ever work out by yourself, you know you're not gonna push yourself that hard. But if you work out with someone who is 10 times stronger than you, just being around them,
Yep, makes you want to do better.
it's gonna push you to be better, and you're gonna see better results. So it's no different. I made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money, made all the errors you could think of, bad partnerships, but the thing is, I didn't give up, and I'm still persevering. You know, challenges still arise. You know, but the thing now is, I take action fast.
Yeah.
And that's the reason.
You have to fail and fail fast. There's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with failing because you're going to learn something every time.
Yeah. For my smart people, right? Your brain makes you want to analyze things, and you'll always look for that perfect moment. It's never going to come.
Never.
You know, as a matter of fact, I would prefer my people to just take action, get feedback, refine, get feedback, get refine, and then eventually you'll start to see.
Because then you learn what not to do the next time.
Absolutely.
But if you just sit and you're neutral, you're not learning and you're not adding value.
Absolutely. So even when you start a marketing campaign, right, I tell people all the time, like, hey, don't expect to make money right away. However, what you will have is data. What you will have is who you need to be going after, who you shouldn't be talking to. You know, once you start talking to them, you're gonna mess up. But guess what? Learn from that. You know, Ty and I have those conversations. He's on sales calls, and we are constantly refining the way he does his sales calls. And a lot of it is just understanding that communication is 80% body language and tone and not words.
Yeah.
So those are the little things that you can't pick up unless you have someone who's been there that can help you along the way.
That with you. Yeah, yeah. This is good stuff. Give us, if you don't mind, an example of a client that you has helped and how. Because I want the audience to be able to see the value that you add and bring to any company in any industry and how those gaps can be filled for them to be able to measure their data.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a local example in Birmingham. I've worked with a local couple. They're real estate investors turned real estate coaches and consultants. They were already doing well, but the way we work together is I reposition them and repackage them. So no longer were they just coaches and consultants. First of all, we rebranded them from just being flippers, because everybody knew them as just being property flippers. Now they're the go-to in their industry for, what they do is they help you get started in real estate without using your own money.
Wow.
So how we did, and then we repackaged them. So instead of people coming to them and paying them a high ticket offer, what they did is they help you get business funding. So you can get your property for free. I mean, not for free because you got to pay for the funding,
Right.
and then they get a piece of the funding, but also they help you find a property and then they wholesale the property back to you. So they're eating 2 or 3 ways, and that's helped them grow to over $1 million brand.
And I can see how that can happen because for my business, I saw the customer corridor, right? I saw that journey. I could see where the customer's next steps were going to be. And I learned to position myself in those places because I didn't feel like I was being a smart businesswoman by saying I can do step 1 and I'm an expert at step 1 and I'm sending you somewhere else for step 2, 3, and 4 when I know those are your next steps.
Absolutely.
So I said, I've got to study my craft, learn more about the industry and what I need to do to help you in step 2, step 3, step 4.
Yeah.
So now I am a one-stop shop.
Absolutely.
And I've been able to fill those lanes for your career as a professional, as a small business owner, as a nonprofit, and even as a corporation.
Yeah.
So I help enhance your brand beyond your current success.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I found with them even is they had several different offers. And we streamlined it into one offer that just took them through different stages.
Yes. Yep.
Because when they put it out into the marketplace, the more you the more you have out there, the more you confuse the audience, right? And when you confuse, you lose, right? So simplicity scales, complexity fails.
Like that.
So
I like that.
we streamlined their offer where they came in one way, and they had they talked to them and they did their operations a certain way, and based off that, they can splinter them off into different areas of the business. But the messaging was unified so that, the right person came in and they were expecting to have a conversation so that they can assess their needs and then they can go do whatever they need. But they had 2 or 3 different offers. at one point. And because they were putting their energy into so many different places, they weren't able to really scale where they needed to. Whereas you put your energy into one offer, you get all the traffic. Yeah, you get all the traffic coming one way. Your process is simpler now because your traffic is coming to one source, and then they were able to do a whole lot more then.
Because now you can see all of your customers and their needs and how that process is working for them and what they need to do next.
Yeah, and so if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to do credit repair and all these other things, right? You're never going to really scale one to its maximum because you're trying to do them all at once. Focus on the one that you know you can do extremely well, that can pay you really well, that you can systemize quickly, and then you can start adding things on, but not until you get one thing done. Remember when Tesla first came out, they had one car.
They had one car.
And then they grew that one, they got that one car into the market, then they started adding other models, right? So if a $1 billion, $1 trillion brand does it,
that's how they do it.
what makes us so different?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Very good point. Very good
so,
point.
Think about like Nike. Nike dominated the apparel space because they were good at staying in their roots. They had a new CEO recently that tanked their stock and just started taking Nike down because he was chasing trends. He was trying to be trendy and hip and trying to run it the way he ran his old company. Well, that started making Nike a failure. Now Nike's getting back to its roots in sports, and you'll start to see a shift back to where they belong.
Because that was their niche.
Absolutely.
That was their target.
Absolutely.
And all those other things were spin-offs. But it started with the sport.
Yeah, they were chasing a shiny object. You saw Nike Hawaiian shirts. Like, that's not a part of their DNA. You know what I mean?
Exactly, not at all. Not at all. And a lot of customers will frown on things like that. It's like, oh, so you do this and you do that?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a poet, but I also barbecue. Like,
yeah.
Really?
Well, so I always tie business into relationships. So if you and I, I'm just using as an example, we're dating and we were engaged, right? And I know you to be one way. And then after we got engaged or we got married, then you change up. That's going to throw me for a loop as a consumer because I'm I'm the consumer of the product you're selling, and you sold me something different in the beginning, and now that you got what you wanted, you changed up.
And that happens.
That happens a lot.
That happens all the time, all the time. I'll give you a perfect example of that too. Based on what you said, what it made me think about was there's an AI class. So this lady is selling this AI course, learn more about AI, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, register now. Sign up for this class. Get your seat. Well, when you push the button to sign up, you put in your information and you sign up. Now you say, oh, well, you can be this and VIP and pay $10 for this and $20 for this. I exit out because I'm like, that's not what drove me here. I feel like you should have waited and had more offerings. Once you complete it, to your point, this task is done. Now let me move you to the next level.
Yeah. Now that's a little different. That's what you call. So she's got a what you call a tripwire funnel.
And I feel like it's a bait, though. I feel like I personally I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm willing to bet maybe 20 to 30% of the people that go through there take that offer.
Really?
Because here's the thing.
But that's not a high percentage.
But you don't want it to be a high percentage.
Okay.
Because so when you do events, you have VIPs, right? It's only going to be 10% of the room usually. So, and she's just looking for those because she's actually strategic.
Okay.
What she's doing is she's qualifying the audience who's willing to invest in themselves in a bigger level. And I can guarantee you, when they show up to that class, she's already aware that if they bought a VIP ticket, two things: they either want to be seen really well or they're willing to invest in themselves at a high level.
Okay, so this is real talk, right? This is real talk.
Now, I don't know this person. I'm just talking about.
No, I know, and we're just using this scenario. Why wouldn't you say, here are the 3 offers, and you pick? For me, I feel like you should just be straight up front. This is, let me decide if this is what I want to do. Not be reeled into it because now that I have your attention, I think that's the same thing you're saying about the fiance and then you get married and then it's a different person. well, why didn't you let me decide up front if that's the game I wanted to play or if that's the room I wanted to be in? Why not, and I'm asking from a learning perspective, why not offer, you pick package A, B, or C. I've got a premium, I've got a platinum, I've got a silver.
Okay.
That works to me, but that I'm learning, I'm listening and I'm learning, and I'm authentically on this show asking this question. Yeah. Is that how it should be done?
No. Here's the reason why. 70 to 80% of the people, they either want free or low ticket.
Okay.
So you don't want to put all three packages in front of them.
Okay.
What's going to happen is she's going to get everyone's data on the front end. And for those that don't want to go beyond that, like you, they leave, right? But there's going to be another person that says, you know what? I do want the VIP seat. My card information already is in there. Let me just click the button and upgrade.
So from the seller, that's what you're funneling through to get to that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what it does is it segments the room, and she's recouping the amount that she spent back on that event.
With the VIP.
With the VIP. So for instance, I got a book funnel, right?
Okay.
Before I made it free, I sold the book for $7.
Okay.
Once you gave me your card information, what's the next logical step after that? Well, if someone wants a book to learn how to grow a brand, increase their sales, and leverage their marketing, then we can take it a step further. Hey, if you obviously are interested in this, if you want to take it a step further, I have this branding guide that I use with all my clients. All you got to do is just upgrade your order, and it'll be delivered in the same package.
Okay.
So, and then on the back end of that, you know, if they want to, you learn branding, right? What's the next logical step? Now you got to understand how to bring people your way.
Okay.
Well, since you got all of these things, hey, if you so choose,
now you add something else.
Here is a marketing course. And that person that gets the marketing course gets a call with me. Why?
Okay.
Because I know they're willing to invest in themselves. So, and it's not about selling, it's about talking to the person that's willing to take action and willing to bet on themselves. So she's looking for the people who are willing to bet on themselves at a high level. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're in VIP, of course you get priority seating.
Right.
But if you ever go to an event similar to those, right? The people that invest in themselves at a high level, they're going to be in the front row. They're not going to miss a session. They're going to be taking notes to the maximum because they got more invested. So they feel like they got to get more out of it. Because, you know, when you pay attention. And that's the people she's looking for. That's going to be, I'm pretty sure she's probably going to take them out to dinner and have an intimate conversation and give them some more one-on-one time. They're probably going to get
build that relationship.
Absolutely. They're probably going to get a welcome kit with a notebook and all these other things that she's got to offer. So that's the way human psychology works.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I'm learning. That makes sense to me.
So at your moment, you didn't necessarily see value in that, right? But I'm willing to bet if you ever went to a department store that you really enjoy or you really like, and they sold you a pair of shoes, and the salesperson came and said, oh, by the way, since you're getting these shoes, there's this that goes with it.
True.
You would consider it because you see the value in that. So just because you didn't see the value doesn't mean that the other person, you see what I'm saying? So that's all it is. But I will tell you this. It is your obligation as a business owner to continue to keep serving your audience. The reason people stop buying is because you stop serving them. A lot of people stop at one offer. But guess what? Whenever you solve a problem, you create another problem for your customer. So if I start bringing you a ton of customers, right, will you be able to handle the lead flow? How's your back end? How's your fulfillment? How's your customer service? So now you got these other problems, and that's where we can position ourselves as experts to help them fulfill those problems as well.
Yeah. So you're helping your clients not only scale and grow, but maintain and stay consistent in their branding.
Absolutely, because
some people are afraid to grow because they say, I'm not ready to hire employees, or I'm not able to do this, or I'm not ready for this next level yet. But you're showing them how they can do that. Yeah,
I mean, when you come in my system, you get software and you get automations and you get tools. If you don't have an assistant, I mean, you have automations and you got follow-ups and all of that stuff is automated so that you don't necessarily have to touch it. Once you onboard a client, the automations trigger and they send the things out. They give them their welcome package and their login information and send them their contract and their receipts and, get them, send them a link to schedule their onboarding call. So there are ways to do it. We just the biggest thing with us is a lot of us, and I hate to say this, I don't hate to say it, let me just be real.
We need to know, don't we? We need to know.
A lot of us want other people to do the work for us, but they don't want to invest in the help. So we got content creators back here, right? And you got a wonderful team, right? Everything that they're doing, you can't put a value on it.
You cannot.
So whatever price they put on it, I'm willing to pay, and I'm not going to haggle on them because I'm not sitting back at their house when it's 10 o'clock at night and they're editing for hours.
Right.
We're asleep.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people will go to them and say, do this video for free and I'll just give you a promotion. No, that's not how it works, brother.
Not how it works at all. Not how it works at all.
And I had to shout them out because a lot of the times their job is thankless. They make us all look good, but people don't often see the value in what they do.
And I share it. I was telling my guest that I had before you, Antoine, I'm telling everybody about him because he's great at what he does. He cares. But he had said something very similar to what you're saying. He's looking for the customers that are investing in themselves. He wants to know, do you have a vision? Do you have a plan? What is it you need? Because otherwise, he said, I feel like I'm running your business for you. And that's not my expertise. So to your point earlier, you want to see people investing in themselves before you want to add value to their life and invest in them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And things can be worked out. But though I'm telling you, the people that aren't willing to invest in themselves, their mindset is not, they'll come in your program and in your community and become a cancer because they usually have the biggest problems.
And as entrepreneurs, we have to look out for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it sounds harsh, but it's real because if they drain your energy, now you don't have time to really run your business like you need to.
It ain't gonna happen. They'll get deleted quickly. You
not for your business, but I'm saying for, for some people,
But here's the thing though, you can't expect someone to invest at a high level in you if you haven't done it for yourself.
For yourself.
You won't see the value of it until you've done it for yourself. Because what's the worst that's gonna happen? You learn something, you grow, your business grows. You get access to things you didn't even know existed. I've paid someone $50,000 to be my coach once, right? And did I make 3 or 4 times that back? No, but you know what I did get? Access to his network.
Wow.
Which
was worth more than $50,000.
Absolutely. And I still got access to these people that invest in real estate at a high level, like the top investors in my area, in my state, that buy deals at a high level. And I can call them and do joint ventures with them and things like that. So to me, that was worth it. He and I are still friends. Like I paid him, but now we're friends. And we do things together now. And that alone has been able to help me. I'm sure I got it back over time, 3 or 4 times over. But to the average person, they're like, why you pay somebody $50,000? Because I wanted speed. I know I wasn't trying to do it by myself. He told me if I paid him $50,000, he would sit with me and work my deals with me whenever I needed it to. And he did.
Wow.
And a lot of that was on me. Because whenever I brought a deal to him, we worked it and it always worked out.
That's awesome. So that means for us entrepreneurs that we have to really look at ourselves, evaluate our business, do an audit check and say, am I investing what I need to invest in myself?
Yeah.
Because people see that. They will automatically see that. And so if you're not doing that, you need to think about how am I going to invest in myself? What am I doing for my business and how can I grow?
Yeah. And Ty will tell you, my guy that's here with me, he's always with me. He'll send me screenshots of people that he's talking to. And immediately just by looking at them, I'm like, that ain't gonna be it. He was like, how you know? I'm like, I can look at how they're talking to you to tell that they're not at the level where you need them to be.
Early on, I paid for a program to learn about entrepreneurship. It was online. And a few other people that was on the Zoom were sitting in their bed. They were in their kitchen. They were in their pajamas. And I said, this is not my audience.
Nah.
And even after I paid for it, I said, I'm not spending my time. This is not the level that I want to be at, and I'm not going to be in this space with them because these people don't care enough about themselves and their brand to even be prepared professionally to represent themselves.
They don't even know who's going to be in the room.
I logged off.
Yeah.
I logged off. So I clearly can attest to you being able to just look at someone's character. That first impression is major.
Yeah, absolutely. And they, I tell them, you want to help someone start a nonprofit, but you in business.
Yeah. You're in business to make money
Absolutely.
or profit.
That's it. You don't make no bones about it. We live in a capitalistic society. We're not going to improve our lives if we don't get the capital that we need.
And that's real talk.
Absolutely.
That's real talk. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for taking your time to come all the way from Birmingham. So it has been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Any last final thoughts you want to share with our audience, and how can they reach you?
Yeah, so if you are a coach, consultant, or an expert at something, you're tired of getting those $500 clients, you're tired of being the best kept secret in your industry, you can go to join.profitablepro.io, and there will be a form that you can fill out there, and the form will let us know if you're a good fit or not. Or you can go to gilbertoherrera.com, and you can find out ways to get on my newsletter. You can find out any events that I have going on. You can read my blog. If you look me up on any social medias, you'll find my name. As a matter of fact, if you find me on Instagram and you inbox me the word profit, I will send you my 5-step Profitable Pro cheat sheet. It's not going to be in a funnel. It's not going to be, you got to opt in or any of that. I'll send you a link. You can make a hot copy of it and download it immediately into a Google slide. So if you do that, I'll give you that for free.
Only on EasyTalk. Only on EasyTalk did you just hear that. Thank you so much for having us. And it will be on the screen for you guys, so make sure you get your pen and paper and write that down. Again, before you go, I'm sure there was something said that you can share with someone else. So subscribe and share. And until next time, this has been EasyTalk, real talk for true entrepreneurs. This episode of EasyTalk is sponsored by Spotlight Productions. When it comes to quality, Spotlight Productions strives to deliver excellence.